You look at the entire history of the global warming movement, and what you realize that time and again, it is the work not of scientists pursuing truth, but of activists who have a very particular view of the world. That view is essentially a view of the world which hates humanity, which sees mankind as a blot on the landscape. So they hate people, they hate the Western economy, and they believe that resources are scarce, we're going to run out very soon, and we must do something about it. We represent the happy people, the people who are optimistic about the future. Yeah, good. It's good to be on the right side, isn't it? But I'm sensing now that the enemy, I think that's what we should call them, the warmists, whatever, are entrenching their positions against us, against our joyful view of the world. We have the forces of green darkness, represented by people like George Monbiot, James Hansen, the wicked toad creature Al Gore. We have right and justice on our side. I think that evil people like me, people who are not afraid of taking the argument ad hominem occasionally and being a bit sort of naughty, I think we have a part to play in this war. And I use that word war quite deliberately, because I think what we are fighting now is a war. We are not funded very well. I reckon, I calculated on a bit of paper, I may be slightly awry, but I calculated that the amount of money being spent by organizations like Greenpeace and World Wildlife Fund and big government and so on, supporting the warmist cause, is about 3,500 times more than has been spent arguing our side of things. I watched a rather interesting BBC documentary about World War II, which is my other obsession apart from HEW. And it was a fascinating documentary about this, a black propaganda department that Britain operated during the war. And they interviewed this very well-spoken young, well, she wasn't young by the time of the interview, she was in her 80s, but obviously she'd been a young lady from a good family. And her responsibility, she'd been overseeing the art department, which was responsible for producing black propaganda. And one of the things she said about it was that when they drew pictures of, they had to draw rude postcards of Nazis in uncompromising positions. And one of her jobs was to make sure that when a certain part of the Nazi's anatomy was drawn by the artist, that it was nice and small. And I feel that my job in this propaganda war is to make sure that when we look at Al Gore, we think of... thank you very much. And I feel that my job in this propaganda war